Ever wondered why some movies leave you feeling like you just solved the complex puzzle? Some films are designed to make you work for your entertainment, twisting and turning your mind in ways that keep you on the edge of your seat. Uh, and these movies spark debates in theaters and living rooms, challenging viewers to piece together reality, memory, and time. So grab your popcorn, hit that like button, and let's dive into the world of um, cinematic conundrums. Remember, if you enjoy the content, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more mind-bending adventures. Imagine sitting in a dark theater, the screen flickering to life, with a story that seems straightforward at first, but as the minutes tick by, you realize that something's off. Characters seem to shift, timelines loop, and the line between reality and fantasy blurs. Uh, it would be a serious advocacy. This is the world of twisty narratives, unreliable narrators, and timelines that fold over themselves, uh, like a complex origami masterpiece. Each film on this list is a maze, and the clues are hidden in plain sight, waiting for you to spot them. Take Mulholland Drive, for example. This David Lynch masterpiece follows an aspiring actor who meets an amnesiac woman in Los Angeles. And the city becomes a dream logic world where identities swap and storylines echo each other. The Club Silencio sequence is a pivotal moment, uh, signaling a shift from mystery to a deeper puzzle about performance and reality. The film uses nonlinear scenes, repeated character names, and mirrored locations to blur the lines between fantasy and memory. Props like a blue key and a blue box um, act as visual markers, connecting two halves of the story um, without providing a simple answer. Uh, uh, it's like trying to solve a riddle where the answer is hidden in the question. Now let's talk about Primer. This low budget gem centers on two engineers who accidentally create a time travel device. The film is a labyrinth of dense technical dialogue and overlapping timelines, uh, multiple versions of the same person move through the same day, uh, creating doubles that alter events in small but crucial ways. Pocket recorder, a fail-safe box, and party incident become anchor points, helping viewers chart the branching paths. It's like trying to navigate a maze where the walls keep moving. Um, why did the engineer cross the road? To get to the other timeline, of course. Donnie Darko is another mind bender. This film follows a teenager who starts seeing a figure in a Reddit suit named Frank after a jet engine crashes into his home. Director Richard Kelly weaves in a fictional book about time travel, providing terms like tangent universe and artifact to frame what the protagonist experiences. See eight key scenes with a cellar door, a high school emergency, and uh, repeated images of clocks and water help track the flow of cause and effect. The narrative uses
manipulated living and manipulated dead concepts to tie character fates to a larger loop. It's like trying to solve a puzzle where the pieces keep changing shape. Uh, Memento is a classic example of a film that challenges your perception of time. The story follows Leonard, who lives with an inability to form new memories and hunts for the person he believes harmed his wife. Christopher Nolan structures the movie with color scenes that run in reverse order, intercut with black and white scenes that move forward. Polaroids, tattoos, and written notes act as a personal database, guiding and misleading the lead character. Of the final reveal, reframes earlier events, showing how selective facts can be arranged into a story that feels complete while leaving gaps. It's like trying to piece together a jigsaw puzzle where some pieces are missing. Inception takes us into the world of shared dreams. Um, and the film follows specialists who enter dreams to plant an idea in a target's mind. The team builds dream levels with different time rates. So a minute in one layer stretches into long spans below. A spinning top totem, a safe and synchronized music cues help the crew coordinate across planes of consciousness. Uh, the film's cross-cutting during the heist makes it possible to track which level you are in by watching gravity, weather, and the presence of a kick. It's like trying to navigate um, a dream within a dream within a dream. Why did the dreamer cross the road? To get to the other level, of course. Um, Tenet revolves around a covert operation to stop a device that can invert the entropy of objects and people. Scenes often play forwards and backwards within the same set piece, requiring attention to the direction of fire debris and breathing gear. A temporal pincer movement shows two teams running the same mission in opposing directions through time. Color-coded rooms, a rotating gate, and mirrored injuries provide orientation tools when the action doubles back on itself. It's like trying to solve a puzzle where the pieces are constantly moving. Why did the time traveler cross the road? To get to the other timeline, of course. 2001, A Space Odyssey traces a path from early human evolution to a deep space voyage guided by a mysterious monolith. The story moves with long stretches of minimal dialogue, relying on visual storytelling to suggest leaps in understanding. The HAL 9000 malfunction, a cryptic signal near Jupiter, and a Stargate sequence mark shifts in human perspective. The final room presents symbolic imagery, inviting interpretation through production design, editing rhythm, and recurring shapes. It's like trying to solve a puzzle where the answer is hidden in the imagery. Why did the astronaut cross the road to get to the other galaxy, of course? Synecdoche, New York follows theater director Cotton Cottard as he stages a production that recreates his city inside a vast warehouse. Charlie Kaufman builds a nested structure where actors play people who are themselves directing new versions of the same life. Time moves unevenly. So days pass, like years inside the rehearsal
while relationships reconfigure with new cast members, street sets, apartments, and a constantly updated script become a map of a life that cannot be fully captured. It's like trying to solve um, a puzzle where the pieces are constantly changing. Um, why did the director cross the road? Um, to get to the other set, of course. And coherence takes place during a dinner party on the night a comet passes overhead. And power flickers lead the guests to discover that their house is one of many identical versions separated by boundaries that people can cross. A numbered box with photographs and glow sticks helps the group try to label which reality they are in. The film uses improvised dialogue and limited locations to foreground tiny continuity, tells that signal a shift between version, and it's like trying to solve a puzzle where the rules keep changing. Why did the dinner guests cross the road? Um, to get to the other reality, of course. Enemy follows a history lecturer who discovers an actor who looks exactly like him and decides to make contact. Director Denis Villeneuve threads in recurring spider imagery and atmospheric cues that point to a psychological reading of the double. Key props like a key, a scar, and a bicycle connect parallel domestic lives that mirror each other. The closing image resets the question of which version of the man we have been following, turning earlier scenes into clues. It's like trying to solve a puzzle where the answer is hidden in the reflection. Why did the double cross the road? To get to the other side of the mirror, of course. The Tree of Life portrays a family in Texas through the memories of an adult son who looks back on childhood. And Terrence Malick includes sequences that visualize the origin of the cosmos and the emergence of life to place one family within a larger frame. Natural light, whispered voiceover, and jump cuts create a stream of memory that floats between locations and time periods. The beach finale uses recurring gestures and faces to connect personal loss to images of acceptance of it's like trying to solve a puzzle where the pieces are memories. Why did the sun cross the road? Um, to get to the other memory, of course, the fountain intercuts three stories featuring a scientist, a conquistador, and a traveler near a dying star. Director Darren Aronofsky used macro photography of chemical reactions to create cosmic visuals without computer generated imagery. Repeated symbols like a ring, a tree, and a nebula, tie the three strands together. Um, the score and echoing lines build a pattern that lets viewers align scenes across centuries as variations of one narrative. It's like trying to solve a puzzle where the pieces are scattered across time. Why did the traveler cross the road? Uh, to get to the other star, of course. Um, Annihilation follows a biologist who joins an expedition into a zone called the Shimmer, where life forms are being refracted and remixed. Director Alex Garland depicts a changing ecosystem that alters DNA and memory as the team moves toward a lighthouse. A video camera, a glassy wall,
and a scorched tower act as waypoints that show the zone's effect on people and animals. The final encounter uses choreography and sound design to visualize copying and mutation as a mirror of the lead character. Um, it's like trying to solve a puzzle where the pieces are constantly changing. Why did the biologist cross the road? To get to the other zone, of course. Under the Silver Lake tracks a young man in Los Angeles who follows a missing neighbor's trail into a network of hidden messages. Um, the movie layers ciphers into song lyrics, zines, and graffiti that the protagonist tries to decode. Maps, a cereal box prize, and an old platform video game point to a pattern of clues that crosses decades of pop culture. The subplot with a songwriter links the puzzle to a larger system of messages passed through media. It's like trying to solve a puzzle where the clues are hidden in plain sight. Uh, why did the young man cross the road to get to the other clue? Of course. The machinist centers on a factory worker who has not slept in a very long time and begins to see a coworker who may not exist. Christian Bale underwent an extreme physical transformation for the role, emphasizing the character's deteriorating state. Post-it notes, a photo torn into pieces, and a theme park ride form a trail through the protagonist's fractured memory. The narrative uses repeated incidents on the shop floor to reveal what he has been avoiding. The sound. It's like trying to solve a puzzle where the pieces are fragments of memory. Why did the factory worker cross the road um, uh, to get to the other memory? Of course. Shutter Island follows a United States Marshal who visits a hospital for the criminally insane to investigate a missing patient. Um, Martin Scorsese seeds the investigation with names and anagrams that point to an alternate reading of the case. Um, a lighthouse, storm damage, and patient interviews steer the plot through shifting accounts of what happened. And the final conversation uses language that can be taken as either acceptance or continued role play, keeping the file open in the viewer's mind. It's like trying to solve a puzzle where the answer is hidden in the details. Um, why did the marshal cross the road? Um, to get to the other clue, of course. The Holy Mountain presents a journey led by an alchemist who assembles a group representing different planets and industries. Alejandro Jodorowsky designs each chapter as a symbolic ritual with elaborate sets, costumes, and tableaus. Scenes break conventional narrative rules by using direct address and sudden shifts in setting. Uh, the ending draws attention to the act of filmmaking itself, reframing the prior pilgrimage as a constructed vision. It's like trying to solve a puzzle where the pieces are symbols. Why did the alchemist cross the road? To get to the other ritual, of course, Lost Highway starts with a musician who receives unsettling videotapes, then turns into a story about a young mechanic without a clear link between lives. Um, David Lynch uses a recurring mystery man, repeated phrases, uh, and location echoes to connect both halves. Um, a nightclub performance, the desert cabin, and a transformation in a jail cell provides structural hinges for the identity shift. Um, the soundtrack and lighting choices assign motifs to characters, helping track them as faces, and names change. And then it's like trying to solve a puzzle where the pieces are fragments of identity, right? Why did the musician cross the road? To get to the other life, of course. Eraserhead places its protagonist in an industrial landscape filled with mechanical noise and uncanny rooms. David Lynch builds scenes with precise sound design that layers hissing steam, hums, and silence to set the rhythm, and a small stage inside an apartment, a deformed infant, and a dinner scene with strange poultry form the backbone of the narrative. And the imagery repeats in the loops that turn domestic spaces into sites of anxious ritual in the last 8 years. It's like trying to solve a puzzle where the pieces are sounds and images, perhaps. Why did the protagonist cross the road to get to the other noise? Of course. Perfect Blue follows a pop idol who leaves her group to become an actor and begins to experience stalking and hallucinations. Director Satoshi Kon cuts between a television script and the character's daily life until they begin to overlap. A personal website, a mirror, and a room filled with memorabilia track how identity is copied and performed. The editing uses match cuts to jump between reality and fiction, inviting close attention to props and sort of blocking. It's like trying to solve a puzzle where uh, the pieces are reflections. Um, try. Why did the pop idol cross the road? To get to the other reality, of course. Vanilla Sky follows a wealthy publisher whose life veers into a strange reality after a car crash and a new relationship. Director Cameron Crowe adapts a Spanish film and builds in references to art, music, and photographs that later act as signposts. A lucid dreaming service, a persistent figure in a comedy mask, and repeating city shots reveal how scenes are being generated. Where the final elevator conversation provides a technical outline that lets viewers piece together the sequence of events. It's like trying to solve a puzzle where the pieces are fragments of reality. Why did the publisher cross the road? To get to the other dream, of course. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.